How we doing out there, everyone? My name is Al. This is my video talking about provisional patents, because on this particular website there's going to be some people that have products that they want to put out there, and they want to be able to make sure that before they put out there they have the right information about putting in for a provisional patent application, because you can sell a product that's not patented with a provisional patent application. Some of the things I want people to keep in mind that they don't always tell you about as far as saying provisional patent. And I'm going to make some notes while I'm doing it so I can remember one of the things I wanted to say. One of the things I wanted to talk about is, see how memory is? No, one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that patent offices, when I first called them up, they told me that they accept claims that say what it is, not what it does. I guess what they were saying was, in order to get a claim on a new idea or an invention, you have to say what it is, not what it does, to get a claim. And I'm not sure how accurate that is. On the website, the phone number will be on the website, so you can call the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office yourself and find out. And what will happen is you'll talk to an operator, and the operator will say, what's your specific question that you have in mind? And so they can transfer you to a representative that can give you accurate information, and they'll give you an ID number as well. Don't be nervous about that, sharing your ideas. Just say that, a brief description about what it is that you want to talk about. Other things that they talk about is when you do a provisional patent application, they say that the terminology that you use is very important in describing the patent idea or the specific claim, because I'm pretty sure what they're trying to say is, in order to do a patent search or to be qualified to have that patent idea protected in the terminology that's used, they are looking for the right wording. And so they have a broad description type of desire that they're looking for the idea, and they have a specific. Broad is just saying that it was a table, and so any table that they talk about is covered. Specific is a table with 7 legs, and it has rotating wheels on the bottom of it, and it elevates through a jetpack. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying that the specific versus the broadness of the idea. Now, one of the things I want people also to keep in mind is that with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, they tell you that they want you can send in that idea without giving a lot of specifics, and it can be worded and described any kind of way. The one reason I didn't like that, even though you can do it, is because when you do a non-provisional or utility application, you want to make sure that the terminology is as close as possible to the application of the provisional application you put in, because they take that information and allow you to transport it to your utility or non-provisional patent, but you want to secure some of that information to say that this is part of the claims in that particular specific application, as well as allowing the person a filing date. Now, when I sent mine in, I sent in with drawings, specifics, prior art, claims, as well as one other thing. I think the prior art is any information that you ever have seen that is close to the idea itself. So when they do a patent search, they have some idea of what to search for. And so there's a lot of few different things that you can look at and say you want to be able to word it the right way in order to send in for your provisional patent application, because that's all it is an application which allows you a filing date. But to get more specific in the provisional application helps you when you do the non-provisional or the utility, because I always go on this principle. We living in the U.S. of A. with all its problems. And so who's to say that the U.S. Patent Office won't, look at the information, reseal it, and then, file it? Because if it's true what people say, and I have some paperwork that was sent back to me, because what the lady said was that the information that I sent didn't have the number coinciding with the actual documents, because I sent in two different ones, and so she couldn't tell which went to what. And so if what they say is true about the fact that that document is sealed and nobody gets a chance to look at it, then it must be sealed after somebody gets a chance to look at it, because she was able to go and know that these documents wasn't properly done, and so she sent it back. And so if you send in documents that you feel that no one's going to look at them, but someone will, and if someone does look at them, then it has the opportunity to be seen by someone else that has the finances in order to make a better product. And so I just say, be careful with what you're sending anywhere. Like I said, we living in the U.S. of A. Anything else I want to add? I made a few notes here that I think I covered a few different things. The only other thing that I can probably think of is when you go and you're working with these companies that want to say that you have a wonderful idea to patent. And mine was, I had this idea for a shingle. I call it a shingle slide. What it was an apparatus that allowed roofers to throw shingles off the roof onto this little tarp, so it wouldn't hit the side of the housing or damage the fowls, because I used to tear off roofs, and they would always tear up the flower beds like they didn't care. So on this website, so I designed this product for that, and I talked to I'm not going to mention the name, but the individual told me, they played a game where they was pretending like they hung up, but they didn't. And it was like, hey, we got this guy that has this $1 million idea, and we're just trying to get him to do blah 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 blah. Most of these companies just want your money. I'm just going to be honest, in my opinion, because honesty is a fine line. But in my opinion, most of the companies just want money for people with any old ideas. And so do your homework, or as the Bible says, your due diligence, in order to do your research and know exactly what you're getting into. I once heard, and I'm going to give you a story real quick because I don't know how true it was. There was a guy, they said, that invented a pocket for the tie. Because if you got robbed, they wouldn't find your money or your credit card. They would only, because it'd be behind the tie. Nobody would be able to see it. Now, the hard part about it is the guy said he spent $200,000 to get it patented. Now, he looked like the type that could have spent $200,000 for a pocket or a tie. I don't know. But I'm just trying to share with everybody the fact that there are people out there and they will say all types of things. And to get back to the story about the guy with the shingle slide, I knew the idea was okay, but it wasn't $1 million idea. I just thought that they wanted $400 to get a provisional patent and everything. Then they wanted another $4,000, I think, in order to license it. And it didn't take that much of finances to get an idea out there. And so what I hope to do one day is to be able to afford to invest in people's ideas, and in order to say that if you really have a really good idea, it would be a shame to let it be going to waste because somebody just wanted to make some money. And so I like to be able to invest in people's ideas that I think will become a good idea. But I want people to realize that everything that I'm saying, I'm hoping is close to the truth as possible by giving the U.S. Patent Trademark Office number, by saying the things that I'm saying, so they can look at it and see that they don't have to spend all that money in order to get their ideas out there. Now, if you have a complicated idea, then maybe it does take a lot of effort in order to get it out there. But the ideas that I have are simple. I have complicated ones, but I'm saving those until I have the finances to do it right, so I won't lose it to these big companies that say that we can get your product licensed for $10,000 or $15,000. So if you agree with that kind of reasoning, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will support what I'm trying to do, this website. And if anything that I want to offer people on this website as far as saying provisional patent, The only thing that I could think of is to develop just a simple blueprint to send out to people, to say the simplicity of really actually sending out for a provisional patent application. And to do it online, it costs, I think, $65. To do it in paper form, it costs $110. And so if people don't tell you the difference, then you think that it costs $110 when they're probably going to pocket that extra little money and send it electronically. Other things you want to keep in mind with a provisional patent application is primarily for a filing date. It's good to have the right information in there. Yes, somebody will see that information. Anything else? Because I don't like people getting ripped off. If you're a low-income individual person, you have a good idea, because most manual labor individuals are the ones that come up with the idea, and then management gets the idea because they are in charge of the intellectual property of the business or whatever the case is, and so the man that's on the bottom don't get a chance to, or woman, get a chance to exercise a good idea because they're working for a company or they don't have the finances or whatever the case is. And so I want to support those people by bringing those ideas to me and allowing me the opportunity to see what I can do to help them get that idea off the ground. Because we're living in a time now that with if you can manufacture that product yourself, you can sell that product yourself. You don't have to go through the big companies and do all the different things unless it's $1 million idea and it takes that type of work to get done. My name is Al. I know this is a long video, so I'm going to cut it short. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and enjoy your products. All right.